Every time a house changes hands in America, the transaction runs through a hidden, essential engine, the Multiple Listing Service, or MLS. The MLS is a private, localized database where real estate brokers share their property listings and coordinate sales with one another. For a real estate agent, access to this data is a strict matter of professional survival. Without the ability to see what homes are on the market or broadcast their own clients' properties to other brokers, an agent simply cannot do their job. This diagram illustrates a historical structure known as the bundle. To reach that central node of MLS data, agents have long been forced through 3 mandatory locked payment gates. Before they can log in, they must pay membership dues to their local association, their state association, and the National Association of Realtors, or NAR. The financial burden of this structure is steep. A typical agent working in Chicago, for example, is forced to pay roughly $1,000 a year, every year, just to access the basic digital tools required for their trade. Now, an industry-wide legal backlash is testing this forced coupling. Agents and lawyers across the country are taking these associations to court, questioning the legality of making association memberships a prerequisite for data access. At the core of a wave of antitrust lawsuits is the allegation of unjust enrichment. Plaintiffs argue that real estate associations have been enriched by these mandatory fees at the expense of their members, profiting from a system that lacks a competitive alternative. Holding essential market data behind a mandatory paywall creates a systemic vulnerability. If the courts decide that tying database access to association membership violates antitrust laws, the entire nationwide structure faces a massive legal liability. Facing the threat of billion-dollar litigation, the industry's standard membership model has shifted from a reliable source of revenue to a significant legal risk. The first major institution to cut the cord is Midwest Real Estate Data, or MRED. MRED is a listing network serving 50,000 subscribers across Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Indiana, making it the 8th largest MLS in the United States. On March 16th, MRED's board held a vote to make membership in the NAR, along with state and local associations, entirely voluntary for their subscribers. Under the old rules, an individual agent faced a $1,000 total fee block just to get to work. By stripping away mandatory association fees, MRED revealed the true cost. The mandate drops to a base MLS fee of $414. A major institution has successfully decoupled the cost of real estate data from association membership. MRED President and CEO Rebecca Jensen explained that this move is a corporate strategy of de-risking. It is a proactive effort to identify and eliminate legal exposures before they can cause fatal damage to the organization. Making membership voluntary acts as a legal quarantine. By dropping the mandate, MRED seeks to immunize itself against antitrust lawsuits targeting forced fee structures. The National Association of Realtors has responded to this structural shift. They recently pushed through updates to their Multiple Listing Services Handbook, the national rulebook for affiliated networks. The updated handbook contains a critical change. Membership requirements are now a matter of local discretion. By granting local discretion, the national organization has stepped back from its universal mandate, giving listing services across the country the option to dissolve the historical bundle. MRED's decision reflects a structural change that has been a topic of industry conversation for at least 2 years. It marks a shift from a uniform national requirement to a fragmented local marketplace. However, unbundling the MLS won't instantly eliminate association fees for every agent. Jeff Baker, the CEO of Illinois Realtors, notes that many participants will still find a reason to remain members. Major independent brokerages have the authority to enforce the bundle on their own. Even if the MLS database doesn't require it, a corporate broker can still require their agents to maintain NAR and local association memberships as a condition of their contract. These brokerages may continue to require membership because of the resources associations provide. They rely on these organizations for risk management, standardized legal forms, and the exclusive branding rights to use the trademark title of Realtor. The associations haven't disappeared, but their power has shifted. They no longer command a structural monopoly over market data. Instead, they must function as a service provider that brokerages choose to support. The mandatory link between listing data and association membership has now been entirely severed at the highest institutional level. real estate associations can no longer operate as a mandatory toll booth for the housing market. Without the protection of a mandate, they must now survive on the open market by proving their resources are worth the annual dues. Stripping away that guaranteed revenue stream forces a correction. This shift moves power away from legacy institutions and lowers the base cost for agents to participate in the housing market.